great to see everybody here. It's nice to be able to get to see old friends and colleagues again.
And our residents as well. You know, what we
30 stories worth of fire hose seems like a lot, doesn't it?
Anybody wants to talk to Tom or I about what that looks like?
Looking at penetrations, looking at the fire stopping elements we're putting in buildings.
That's another sort of energy sustainable technology that sort of is great but works against us. It also burns the grass in my yard.
And many thanks for inviting me to join this event. It's a pleasure to be here to kick off today's conference, looking at green fire safety issues in tall buildings. I'm a practicing fire engineer, the current international president of the Institution of Fire Engineers. And today I'm going to whiz through some of the challenges, focus on the priorities as the IFE's international president, talk a bit about the IFE, and how we can help, and then I'm going to get cross. So, as you know, tall buildings are becoming increasingly popular. They offer a number of benefits, including energy efficiency, reduced carbon emissions, improved occupant health and well-being. However, we can recognise that tall green buildings also pose some unique fire safety challenges. One challenge, is that they often use innovative materials and technologies that may not have been fully tested in fire situations. Another challenge is that they are often complex in design, with multiple levels, interconnected systems, and this can make it difficult to evacuate occupants and fight fires quickly and effectively. But despite these challenges, it is possible to build tall green buildings that are safe from fire. And there are a number of things that can be done to mitigate fire safety risks associated with tall buildings. Oh, okay, I'll come clean. So, I can't see that very well. So I typed into Bard, which is Google's AI, what do I say in a keynote address to a conference on tall green buildings? And this is what it told me. Fascinating, isn't it? It's not too bad, but it's hardly the full picture, is it? So I think what would be better is if I started off by sharing a section of the speech that I gave when I began my tenure as international president last October. In that speech, I set out my priorities as IFE's president for the year. And I think it was worth recognising that whilst it's nice to think that the Institution of Fire Engineers, our institution, is the only meaningful fire-related professional body in our sector, in this post-Grenfell environment, it's clear that fire safety is important to a wide range of professionals working across the built environment. And I think we also must acknowledge that successful fire safety is a collaborative endeavour. It relies on input from many different professions and trades. Examples are architects, building designers, surveyors, a range of contractors, engineers from allied disciplines, building managers, facility managers, and importantly, end users as well. What's important is that each actor in that fire safety space understands the contribution they make, where they fit in, and importantly, the limits of their remit and competence, and how to ensure effective interfaces with others. So my aim as IFE's international president this year is to strengthen the ties between IFE's international presence and as many other players as possible. Now, naturally, that's included many UK-based organisations, and I'm seeking out other opportunities to liaise with key international bodies as well. And a big part of that is why I'm here with you today, because my term as international president focuses on fire safety competence, collaboration and cooperation. Now, hang on. Bard said that as well. The importance of collaboration between architects, engineers, fire safety experts and other stakeholders in the design and construction of tall and green buildings. Fascinating, isn't it? Blimey, AI is good. You won't be asking for speakers in the future. So we've got a great lineup of speakers here today, and we'll be discussing a wide range of issues, learning from one another and taking something away with us that we didn't know before. And this is important. So whether our future building design challenges involve squiggly or straight or floating, whether our buildings are green or golden, we're going to be enhancing our fire safety skills using established frameworks to facilitate such innovation whilst ensuring that adequate levels of safety and resilience are provided. Right, so who are the Institution of Fire Engineers? Who are we? We're a registered charity working for societal benefit. We're established over 100 years ago, and membership or affiliation is open to all, regardless of role or geography, and is inclusive of those working in emergency response, fire safety, active, passive fire protection, fire engineering consultancy, science, research, risk assessment, enforcement, fire safety management in healthcare organisations, for example. Anyone working in or with an interest in fire. And we've got a membership level structure and being a professional engineering institution, we're licensed by the Engineering Council to award registration, demonstrating the competence of fire engineering practitioners. We engage with members in numerous ways, with branches and special interest groups, and we deliver over 6,000 exams each year, predominantly in the fire and rescue sector. We have a small but perfectly formed team of technical advisors, as well as our established technical committee. And in July 2022, we created a new internal role to coordinate the institution's efforts around the topic of batteries and alternative fuels. Paul True has made a huge impact collating and disseminating that research that's going on around the world within the institution. And I just mentioned that we are the only professional engineering institution licensed by the Engineering Council for the fire sector. So what does this mean for fire safety professionals? Well, the IFE is proud that we grant registration in all three sections of the Engineering Council's register. But really, what it means for the professional is recognition that an individual's competence has been assessed by their peers and that they have attained a standard that is deemed necessary to practice. Like I say, we've got various categories that are there really to enable a career progression. These different titles, EngTech, iEng and CEng, relate to different levels of job roles. Engineering technicians, they're the people who use engineering solutions to solve problems. And an example, chartered engineers, they're really the engineers who are developing solutions and managing engineering activities. Successfully gaining Engineering Council registration with the IFE also means you're conferred a grade of membership with various post-nominals. And this is a key document for professional registration. It's UK Standard for Professional Engineering Competence, UK Spec. It describes the value of becoming registered in each of the three sections. It describes the requirements that have to be met in order to gain that registration and gives examples for doing that. And UK Spec enables individuals and employers to find out whether they or their staff meet the requirements and explains the steps necessary for that registration process. The Statement of Ethical Principles sets a standard to which members of the engineering profession should aspire to in their working habits and relationships. And the values on which it's based should apply in every situation in which a professional engineer and technician exercises their judgment. There are 4 pillars to these ethical principles. So there's accuracy and rigour, professional engineers and technicians have a duty to ensure that they acquire and use wisely and faithfully the knowledge that is relevant to the engineering skills needed for their work in the service of others. Honesty and integrity. Professional engineers and technicians should adopt the highest standards of professional conduct, openness, fairness and honesty. Avoid deception, show reliability, be trustworthy, declare conflicts, reject bribery, and above all, have respect. Respect for life, law, and the public good. Professional engineers and technicians should give due weight to all relevant laws, facts, and published guidance and the wider public interest. This includes natural and human resources, health and safety, effect of natural environment, lawful and justified, and the effect on society should be considered at all times. And importantly, responsible leadership. Listening and informing professional engineers and technicians should aspire to high standards of leadership in the exploitation and management of technology. They hold a privileged and trusted position in society and are expected to demonstrate that they are seeking to serve wider society and to be sensitive to public concerns. So really, ethical behaviour is an integral part of competence and essential in achieving competent fire engineering. I'm pleased that, building on the statement of ethical principles that was established in 2019 by the Engineering Council and the Royal Academy of Engineering, the group published its report this February called Engineering Ethics, Maintaining Society's Trust in Engineering Profession. And that builds on those principles. At the heart of it is the need to ensure that the public has confidence that the profession acts ethically. And the report reminds us that inevitably there are tensions between profitability, sustainability and safety that engineers seek to be aware of and need to balance. We know that professional engineers and technicians endeavour to get things right. However, there have been some important questions posed in recent years. Social media has sort of amplified public scrutiny. The report cites Dame Judith Hackett's review of building regulations and fire safety following the Grenfell Tower tragedy, where she highlighted that there was a cultural issue across the construction sector which can be described as a race to the bottom, caused either through ignorance, indifference, or because the system does not facilitate good practice.
Book your tickets now for the 8th International Tall Building High-Rise Fire Safety Conference, taking place alongside FDIC in Indianapolis, US, on the 15th to the 17th of April 2024. 3 days of world-class speaker presentations, debates and networking. Book your tickets via the website www.tallbuildingfiresafety.com. Early bird discount tickets will be available. The Tall and High-Rise Building Fire Safety Management course is ideal for anyone who has responsibility for fire safety management in tall and high-rise buildings. It is a 5-day intensive course with world-class instructors. You can get full details of the course on our website www.tallbuildingfiresafety.com.
So this report makes some challenging recommendations across these 5 themes and sets short, medium and long-term actions for each. And the Engineering Council expects that PEI, such as the IFE, will be progressing this vision, and we certainly will be. We'll be working together with employers and our members to consider what they should be doing to embed ethical thinking more strongly in what we do. Now, one of our prominent members here in the UK, Angus Law, who is a fire engineer at the University of Edinburgh, was asked to chair a meeting on competency in June 2018 by the Industry Response Group. The goal of that meeting was to ensure that all those individuals engaged in every stage of the life cycle of higher risk buildings and responsible for carrying out work in those have the proven competence to do so. Actually, the meeting was really to describe and agree accepted shared principles for competency. And Angus's intent was to define a framework and language which could be used to frame a problem. Angus stated that there's an important distinction between competence and accreditation. The two are often confused, and the concepts used interchangeably, which can be confusing. He proposed that competence is the attributes and behaviours, and accreditation is the badge that's given to someone who is ostensibly competent. He pointed out that accreditation does not equal competence, and he also reminded everyone that Dame Judith Hackett distinguishes between the two, stating that there is a lack of competence, skills, knowledge and experience, and a lack of accreditation, the formal process of assurance. Now, I love a good quotation, and Angus quoted Confucius. He said, "Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance." And he also cited work by Kruger and Dunning from 1999. Are you confident because you have knowledge, or are you confident because you have no knowledge? So the purpose of this aside was to make the point that one of the most important aspects of competence is assessment of self-competence, but also the inherent difficulty of doing this, because a lack of competence can give the illusion of competence, and often those with the least competence consider themselves to be most competent. So, complicated picture, isn't it? And how do we define competence? And I'll look over to the chair and see how I'm doing time-wise. Okay. I think being competent is a combination of acquiring knowledge, practicing experience, and living appropriate behaviours. And I think as an institution and as a profession, we've known this for some time now. And for me, the important element in all this is that behavioural aspect. I think it's about taking personal responsibility as individual engineers. Competence isn't something that you can expect your professional body to do to you. You have to live it, you have to show it, and importantly, if you're acting as a professional, you have to demonstrate it. So, here's the sales pitch. IFE has the tools to help. We've got membership grades, fire risk assessor registration, engineering council registration, to allow all practicing fire engineers to demonstrate to colleagues, the wider construction industry, and to the public at large that their competence has been assessed by peers in a third-party verified way. I urge you to think about how you might demonstrate your competence in fire engineering, and you might want to visit our stand at the back of the room. So, we've covered a lot here. We've looked at some of the developments and strides that were taken historically. We've looked at the role of the professional body, particularly regarding competence, and we're mindful that successful fire safety in the built environment is a collaborative and cooperative effort. That final aspect of collaboration that I need to quickly tell you about is that's closely linked to working as a competent professional is CROSS. I said I would get CROSS. Now, CROSS stands for Collaborative Reporting for Safer Structures. IFE is proud to have been able to expand the safety concerns reporting scheme from merely structural safety to now including fire safety. It operates primarily in the UK, particularly the fire safety reporting aspect, and I think there's much content in the fire safety reports that will be of interest to you. So if you haven't done so already, please scan this QR code and sign up to receive regular updates. And consider reporting yourselves. There are more details online here, or you can talk to afterwards about it. In our very latest IFE journal, I've submitted a piece that highlights 3 fire safety concerns that have recently been processed by CROSS. And the theme for all 3 of them are focusing on green building issues, including lithium-ion batteries, the use of timber in construction and green walls. So it's well worth taking a look at these and picking up a copy of our latest journal after this conference. So, oh yeah, that's that article. Go and find it. Thank you. That's all from me, and I think I've stuck to time, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter.
Book your tickets now for the 8th International Tall Building High-Rise Fire Safety Conference, taking place alongside FDIC in Indianapolis, US, on the 15th to the 17th of April 2024. 3 days of world-class speaker presentations, debates and networking. Book your tickets via the website www.tallbuildingfiresafety.com. Early bird discount tickets will be available. The Tall and High-Rise Building Fire Safety Management course is ideal for anyone who has responsibility for fire safety management in tall and high-rise buildings. It is a 5-day intensive course with world-class instructors. You can get full details of the course on our website www.tallbuildingfiresafety.com.